So welcome guys back to another video in the channel. We are doing another episode of Arsenal Transfer News Daily, and today we're doing the transfer setup, switching things up a bit. We've changed the thumbnail, now we're changing the setup a bit more. We're going back to the setup we used for the previews, and today we've got quite a lot of news to talk about, especially starting with Manuel Locatelli. Now we have talked about Locatelli for quite a bit now. The fact that Arsenal have held a strong interest in the player Manuel Locatelli for quite a few weeks now, especially as he has been ripping up the Euros. Now, the thing with Manuel Locatelli is that he wants to join Juventus. That's just beyond a doubt. He wants to join Juventus. Now, reports are coming out of Italy that Edu is going to call Manuel Locatelli in a bid to try and convince him to join Arsenal. Arsenal are pushing hard. Their president, Sassuolo's, has always suggested that an important bid has come from abroad, and a lot of reports from Italy today are suggesting that that bid has been accepted, and Arsenal are just waiting on the sidelines to see what the player wants. Now, the player has always said from day one that he wants to join Juventus. Juventus is his priority. Now, Sassuolo said they are waiting for Juventus, but are Juventus going to come in? That's the big talking point here. Are Juventus going to come in with an important bid, matching Arsenal's bid of 40 million euros for Manuel Locatelli to sign him? Now, Arsenal do really want Locatelli. That's proven fact. Arsenal do want him. But does the player want it? Because we're willing to put the money on the table, 40 million euros, and that's been accepted for around a few days now. Now, Sassuolo and Manuel Locatelli's entourage's representatives are waiting for Juventus to come in for a bid and see what happens. Now, Edu and Arteta are trying their very hardest to try and convince Manuel Locatelli that Arsenal are the right club. Now, obviously, Arsenal don't have European football, neither do Sassuolo. But Juventus are Champions League football. They're in Italy, they're in the country, and obviously every player, Italian player, their dream is to play for Juventus at one point. You know, that because Juventus are the best club in Italy, so it makes sense for Locatelli wanting to join Juventus. But will the bid arrive from Juventus? Will the bid arrive? That's the big question, because if an important bid does arrive from Juventus for around 40 million euros, which is what Arsenal have had accepted by Sassuolo, it will mean that Locatelli will 100% go to Juventus no matter what Edu tries and do. But Edu is going to try and convince him. This is going to happen, but Locatelli, if you ask me what the chances of this getting done are, I would say still quite slim, even though a bid has been accepted, because Locatelli, his priority is 100% Juventus, as he is obviously in the picture there. He did win the Euros with Italy a few days ago, so he does want to move to Juventus, and I can't stress enough how much he does. So Arsenal is a distant one, and it is a secondary option for Locatelli if Juventus doesn't work. But Edu is going to try his hardest. He's going to call him. He's going to convince him. And that is the news on Manuel Locatelli, that a bid has been accepted. Edu is trying to convince him, but the player's priority remains to be Juventus. Now, the next bit of news is on James Maddison. Now, we're going to talk about James Maddison now. And, we did say a few days ago that, we're willing to give him the number 10 shirt. Now, and reports today are suggesting that a 4-year deal is going to be put on the table for James Maddison by Arsenal, and he isn't on the 40-man squad going on Leicester's pre-season tour either, which does give us a bit of a boost in that respect. But I think the reports circulating around that, he has some family issues, there's some personal issues or something like that, but I don't think anyone really knows the real problem for him being out. Now, I do think there's a good possibility we can sign James Maddison providing the right bid does come in. Now, we've said many times, I think it's common knowledge that Brendan Rodgers and James Maddison don't have the smoothest of relationships, and I think that could help Arsenal try and get a deal done for James Maddison, because we do need a player in that area, and the fact that James Maddison is available, I would say, for around about £60 million is what I've been told. £60 million would be enough to secure James Maddison. I think that's a fair enough price, considering, he was on the market for around 80 to 90 million last summer and no one really went for him. I think Man United had an interest, but nothing really happened. And also the fact that, he was doing well last season, Leicester didn't want to get rid of him. This summer, the situation has changed. Leicester are open to getting rid of James Maddison, and there is a possibility that a deal can be done, a deal can be struck. But again, the thing is with James Maddison is that he will be open to come to Arsenal, the AFC Bell. Many have reported that we are willing to give him that number 10 shirt, but there are reports that Emil Smith-Rowe is going to get that, because there's a lot of teasing going on whether Emil Smith-Rowe is going to get that number 10 shirt or whether that's going to go to a new signing like James Maddison. Now, do I think we'll get him? Possibly. I think there's a good chance that if Arsenal do put in a bid quickly, if we do move on this a bit quicker, then there is a chance that Maddison could become an Arsenal player by the end of this window. I wouldn't rule it out. And I think in terms of other targets in that area, we're still looking at the likes of Jack Grealish. But again, that's a far cry. I doubt 100% that won't happen. I'm telling you right now. But other targets, not many other names are getting linked around. Again, you have your Ruben Neveses, your Houssem Aouars, which we'll talk about tomorrow, hopefully. And, Ruben Neves we'll talk about in a second. But again, in terms of James Maddison, I don't think it's not close. But in terms of personal terms, in terms of trying to get the deal done with the player, trying to convince him, that won't be a problem. It's the fact that Arsenal need to now approach Leicester to try and negotiate a fee. That will be the big stumbling point, whether Arsenal can pull up the 60 odd million pounds that Leicester would want to sell James Maddison for. And do I think it will happen? Again, as I said, there's a chance they could, but then there's a chance it couldn't if Arsenal don't want to pay that kind of money that Leicester wants it for. But we'll just have to see. Again, I think for this one, time will tell what will happen in this one. But James Maddison could be on his way to Arsenal. Leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. Next bit of news is on Granit Xhaka. Now, Granit Xhaka, he has now returned from the Euros. I think he's on holiday at the moment after Switzerland got knocked out, and he's not returned for pre-season yet for Arsenal. Now, with Granit Xhaka, so many news and reports linking him to Roma. Now, I do think he'll eventually end up joining Roma because he doesn't want to stay at Arsenal. That's common knowledge. Now, Arteta is willing to get rid of him because we are looking at, like I said, Locatelli, Ruben Neves, Houssem Aouar, James Maddison for replacing Granit Xhaka. Even he used Bissouma, so he's going to leave. Now, a lot of reports a few days ago were suggesting that a deal is far off. Now, reports today are suggesting that a deal is closer because Roma have a bit more money from their sales of Paul Lopez and Cengiz Under to now and go and sign Granit Xhaka and are willing to offer up to 18 million euros to get that deal done. They haven't reached Arsenal's price tag yet, which is close to 18 to 20 million euros, which I think is a fair price, to be honest. I think what Arsenal are asking for is a fair price, and I think Roma should be paying that kind of money if they want Xhaka, because you do well. He's had a very good Euros. I think he made the team of the tournament. I'm not too sure, but he was one of the good players in that tournament. So you have to at least be paying 18 to 20 million euros. If Arsenal do want that, you should be able to pay it. Apparently, Granit Xhaka is also willing to cut his holiday short in order to join up with Jose Mourinho in the team. But again, that's nothing to be too mad about, because he does want to join Roma. He does want to join Jose Mourinho. Again, that's a big pull for him to go to Italy, to join Roma. Do I think it'll happen? I think this will happen. Not 100%, because I think there's a chance that other teams could come in looking at his performance in the Euros. There's a good chance that another team may come in for him, but as of right now, I think Roma are still leading the race, and I won't be surprised if you see some movement in this in the next few days. So keep an eye out, and Granit Xhaka could be on his way to Roma. Next bit of news is on Ruben Neves. Now again, he's another replacement we could get for Granit Xhaka. Now, Ruben Neves, interest has cooled for Ruben Neves. Because Arsenal were heavily linked with him over the last few weeks. Now, I've suggested that I would take Ruben Neves, but I wouldn't be like, let's go all out to sign him. I think £30 million, if that was the sort of price we'd be getting him for, then maybe. But I think Houssem Aouar would be a bit cheaper, would he? I'm not too sure. Because they're similar players, I think, Ruben Neves and Houssem Aouar. So I think it depends what Arsenal want in that instance. Do they want Ruben Neves? Do they want Houssem Aouar? I think that it's either or, I think. And, a lot of reports suggesting that Arsenal want to go all out for him. Other reports saying that Arsenal are calling their interest and they'd rather go after someone like Houssem Aouar, who is cheaper, or Locatelli, who they've had a bid accepted for. It depends. We'll just have to see what happens in that aspect with Ruben Neves. But leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. Would you sign Ruben Neves for Arsenal or not? But that is it for today's video. Let me know. Do you like the setup, or should I go with the normal one? Leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. And the thumbnail as well. Should I keep the old one? Should I keep this one? Leave all them thoughts in the comment section down below. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe. See you guys next one. Bye-bye.